Barbara Thomas. Anthony Campbell.
Present.
Mary Wiles.
Here.
Trevor Warren.
Here.
You have a quorum, 4-0.
Please stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anybody want to do a petition?
Yes.
Stacy Yoakum.
Yes.
Barbara Thomas. Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Trevor Warren.
Yes.
5-0.
Next up would be ratified bills, December, January. You guys should have had a copy. If you guys have any questions, let us know. I'll try to answer them for you. If not, just let me know when you guys are ready. Yes. Backup has all the classes.
Yes.
We board every single one.
I saw that.
It should be serviced and ready for, I think we serviced it, changed all the.
Other than it's got 3 cylinders leaking, but other than that, the hull's in good shape.
Which cylinders are it?
They're all on the back, one of them's on the outer rear, and the other 2's in the boot.
They're probably swings. If we get any of them,
I had personally bad lugs. We put, every time I replace swings, it seems like it needs 6 months out of it again, but that's just me.
the smell.
There's an awful good place in
We could
Cuba.
run up there and have them.
That's what I was thinking of.
There's an awful good place in Cuba to get them done.
Missouri.
He can turn them if the rams get out or something, he can turn them. He's got the equipment to turn them.
Any questions? Yeah. Okay. Also, need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the bills. I'll second.
Wesley Wilhelm.
Yes.
Stacy Yoakum.
Yes.
Barbara Thomas. Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Trevor Warren.
Yes.
5-0.
Next up would be approved minutes, January 3rd, 2022. You guys see anything wrong with it?
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Hilton,
Yeah.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell,
Abstain, 1 year.
Mary Wiles,
Yes.
Herbert Warner,
Yes.
4-0.
Next up would be water sewer rates 2022. I should have that. Guys have any questions on that one?
It's been posted, right? So we just need to read the.
Yeah, so basically, just to give everybody a heads up, this year we are not increasing the water rates. Sewer rate will still increase, but this year we do not believe we need to increase the water rate. So if anybody wants a copy of this afterwards, let me know, I'll give you a copy of it too. So
Okay, I'll make a motion for the first reading for bill number 2022-0002. I'll second.
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Hilton,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mary Wiles,
Yes.
Herbert Warner,
Yes.
5-0 for first reading.
in order to the City of Dixon waiving the 5% increase in water rates for the year 2022.
No, second.
Second reading. Make a motion for the second reading.
I'll second that.
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Hilton,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mary Wiles,
Yes.
Herbert Warner.
Yes.
Pass, 5-0, sorry.
In order to the City of Dixon waiving the 5% increase in water rates for the year 2022. I'll need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Hilton,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mary Wiles,
Yes.
Herbert Warner,
Yes.
5-0. Ordinance passed.
Annexation update would be next. Do we have any objections? Not. Next time, correct, Jeff, we'll approve that, is that correct?
Yeah, if there's no objection during tonight, then we have a ordinance to approve the annexation next week. We'll get that up this week posted.
Thank you. Next is MRPC S&T project update. Do we need to do an update on that, or?
She's the project manager.
So we did get to meet with the students from the project management class at S&T. We provided them with 11 possible projects. They ended up taking 9 of the 11. So if you see students around the town at our various parks, don't be alarmed. They are supposed to be doing there. They're supposed to come at least once physically and look at the project area. So they're going to start on that, and hopefully middle of April, they'll watch the paper because we'll put it out there for exactly when and where they're going to present their projects to the community. So come on out and support them, and the more community involvement we can get with those projects, obviously the more likely we can get them completed. So yeah, it's good. We're excited.
Any questions? You guys see them out about talking to them. There's a group of them here today, and they're super excited, to be honest with you. It's pretty cool that we have people of that caliber wanting to improve our town, so. Thank you. Do you have a update Ian, on our Trailgen water treatment plant?
Well, we had 2 invoices come today, and they're
they're going to be here Thursday at 1 to meet with you, and Stacy, Pat, and
Whoever wants to.
whoever wants to come and update us on, there's 2 tasks, task 1 and 2 for the water treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant. So, they're plugging along and hopefully.
So last I heard from them, they had all the manuals surveyed. They had a flow check over it, flow test. I think we got that good running afterwards, so they should be able to troubleshoot something like this. So I'll update everybody too after our meeting. So.
That's Thursday at 1.
Maintenance update, you have anything?
We accepted a bid for the dumpsters and sold them $23,000. I thought it was a very good bid. Trash trucks, we've got them on gov deals, and we've got some interest in them. That's been, the Sterling's definitely going to be the hot one.
Yeah, I think one of them is almost up to 20 right now. Don't quote me exactly anybody on this, but
It was at 15 before noon today, it might be at 20.
and then the other one's still about 3. We'll see that.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. You don't know until the very end. So
Yeah, till right at the end.
they got another 7 days to go. So
I do have a guy come to look Wednesday, I think, Wednesday, right, Missy, that wants to look at the Sterling, so when he sees it, he might do a little more.
okay. Anything else?
That's a lot of it.
Thanks, Pat. I appreciate you. Mr. David Lysell, is that how you pronounce your name?
Mesa.
Amazing. Do you have something for us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir.
As you know, any organization, including a municipality like Dixon, has to balance its responsibilities and projects against scarce resources. Dixon happens to be a nexus for stray and feral animals. They have already long eaten any food resources they have, and 75% of young animals born to these strays and ferals are dying before their first year. Mostly from starvation, from medical needs that aren't being met, They're becoming prey to predators that are in this area. Louis Castellani, I'm sorry, names like that are always throwing me a bit, who works with Diana Newsom over at Kitten Division, has for the past 3 years been addressing this with his own personal TNR program, which is trap, neuter, and return. He mainly traps the animals, he gets them medical care for their immediate needs, stays and neuters them, and then returns them so they can live out the lives that they would normally live, but without adding more generations of animals to the problem. Over the last 3 years, he has shown that this program is starting to retard the growth of the kitten season. It's coming later and later in the year just from his efforts alone. He has now decided to take this to a larger, more energetic form, and he has formed a board. We are members of that board of a new not-for-profit organization that is going to be addressing this TNR problem and bringing it on a larger scale. And one of the things we were looking at is, since Dixon is the nexus, we wanted to bring our base here. And one of the properties we're looking at is the old jet fed office right next to Goodrich Gas, about a half a block from here. We are, at this point, just in a formative stage. What we are asking is, we realize there's no funding available here. We recognize that because I'm a resident of the area here. But we're looking to form a partnership with the city so that we can better coordinate what we're doing, let you guys know when we are trapping or releasing, and so if citizens call in to report strange behavior, you don't have to look at it, you already know what's going on. And also that you can report to us if you notice a colony of the strays or ferals that need to be treated. That way we benefit everyone. The other thing that you might be able to help us with is if we need help with Pulaski County, and you agree with what we are doing, to advocate on our behalf. Now, I did bring some facts and figures from the internet to show what the problem is and how TNR missions work. It's available online. I only brought one copy because I'm trying to save trees as well. And I just wanted to present that to you that we are in this area, we are starting to address this issue, and ask for your coordination and help with this. And be happy to take any questions you may have.
You guys have any questions? Are there enough grants out there for this application to help you guys?
There are some grants. We are addressing the first few of those. A lot of the grants that are available are either limited in funding themselves, or they have to be used for specific purposes that are outside what we're going to be doing. One other benefit I should mention to Dixon is as we raise funds, there are low-income families with pets who have very serious medical needs and they cannot afford to pay for it. And part of our fundraising will be a fund to help low-income households have their pets' medical needs addressed if they can't afford it themselves. That will, with the amount of pets and animals in this area, help local residents who cannot afford to get their other pets with medical needs, medical treatments that they desperately need.
So how would that work? Would you have a doctor come in that would volunteer, or how?
Well, we work with established vets. Right now, Kitten Division, Living For, and a few others in this area, some in Rolla, one or two in St. Louis. We actually have, well, we try to negotiate the lowest possible fee, but we actually pay them for their services. Lewis has been collecting money from basically family and friends to fund it up to now, and we're just trying to put it on a more sound financial basis where we can raise funds, so we are pursuing 501c3 status at this time. That would allow us to raise the funds in a better manner.
Do you have an estimate of how much it would actually take to alleviate the problem?
I can tell you that right now we are looking at somewhere between $20,000 to $50,000 a year. These trapping missions tend to bring in a lot of cats. In the past 2 weeks, he's brought in 56 feral and stray cats and had them all fixed.
Is that just here in our town?
One of them was, one was Richmond.
Yeah, but it's several different places, but Dixon is among the areas that have been serviced.
See, we have to find these colonies first, and that's the part. Whenever we find one, we address it. But the problem is finding them as well because they tend to hide, obviously.
So my question was more specifically for Dixon, what would the cost end up being?
We're not looking, I mean, if we could get financial support, that would be fantastic, but as a resident, as an area resident, I know there's no money available. We are going to be raising funds through other means, through grants, through donations, and so on. So the cost to Dixon Council is just keeping us informed.
I'm just curious of what the
You
cost
want to
would be.
take this? Sure. I'm the interim treasurer. My name is Laura Connors, and that's a tough question to answer because I think you're asking how much would it take to basically control the entire feral population in Dixon.
Yeah.
So the trick with that is, first of all, you have to have trapped and neutered every cat in Dixon, and knowing where they all are is, as you said, pretty tough to do. We sort of rely on individuals to let us know. So it could be $12,000 if it is, let's say, I don't know, 30 cats that we fix over the course of the year. It could be $35,000 if it's more than that. Lewis has spent the last 3 days trapping upwards of 50 cats. I think it was 56 cats. that he tracked in a location that have all now either are getting medical attention and being neutered, and he's been releasing them back into the colonies over the course of these last 2 days. So it just depends on your population, which none of us can know for sure what that number is.
I didn't know if you guys had
Now,
any estimates on it.
if you use kitten division as a guide to the cost just for spay and neuter, we're looking at $65 to $85 per cat. So if you have 1,000 cats, and I don't know if you do, but this is the nexus for the county. If you have that, then you can do the math. It's going to cost a lot of money.
And
But
it's
the
also,
problem is that the kitten population is growing as we speak, and so we don't have a static number even if we knew what it was.
Have you noticed an influx of strays and dumped cats in the places that you have these? I mean, because now that you're creating a facility, it's more handy to drop it in, and then we end up having more strays, whether they're spayed or neutered or not,
Right.
but they're being dumped off because now there's a facility to take care of it.
Exactly, so what this does is it's not going to stop the problem. That's beyond any human capacity that I know of. What we are trying to do is slow it down and reduce the problem to the point where the cats can survive on their own, without having to starve to death. Because a lactating mother can't produce milk. Sometimes it will be eaten itself, and then the cats are left to starve. It's just a horrendous problem. So we're just trying to address it in the most effective way we've found so far.
I don't know that there's any evidence that doing this sort of work exacerbates people dumping their pets. If you Google the TNR program, most cities and counties in the country are doing them because they prove to be the best solution for this problem. So I don't think that would be the case if it was creating more dumping.
Will it be cats only for right now? Is that what?
Cats are the one with the population control issue, and that's how we.
There are other animals, and if you get the cat population under control, nature itself will start balancing things out, and if we see another population grow to start to look like it might attain the same problem, we can of course address it there. But right now, cats are a problem.
So are you guys, are you associated with the kitten division and Loving Paws? Is it gonna be like another Loving Paws type organization just based in
Well, Loving
Dixon?
Paws is the ASPCA,
Right. I'm
and
just
they
trying to
are,
figure out.
we are neither. All we are concerned with is addressing these specific issues.
We will be our own nonprofit entity, although we were technically sort of birthed out of kitten division because that's who Lewis has been working with up to this point, but the need has grown so big and the evidence of the success of this program is so prevalent that we decided to turn this into its own nonprofit to focus solely on this and stop needing resources from kitten division.
So it will be something similar to the kitten division, just here.
A part of kitten division, not what kitten division is doing, because they will take in strays and hold them for adoption. Our plan is simply
Strictly.
TNR.
Okay.
We're going to catch them, we're going to fix them up, we're going to neuter them, and then we're going to put them back where they were, knowing that they cannot procreate, and therefore, as they die out, so does the colony.
So the adoption side of what they do will not.
That would still be kitten division.
While we are getting the cats the treatments that they need, the cat presents that is adoptable, we could certainly look at letting that cat go to an adoption center.
Exactly.
But we are addressing just the
No, that would
logistical
ensure
need to control this overpopulation, as well as the emergency medical needs of the animals.
So the jet vet clinic that you were talking about moving into, is there going to be a vet there, or is it just going to be your office?
We need a base that is fairly local to where we're operating, so we don't have long driving distances. It has to be set up with sanitary facilities, a place to let the cats recuperate from surgery, and a place to maintain and clean the equipment that we use. And we just figured a place that's set up as a veterinary clinic that's not operating at the moment is the most logical place to look.
So then would the vet be able to come to your location to actually perform the procedures that need to be done, or would you still have to transport to them?
That's certainly a possibility. Right now, we are looking at least initiating it where we take them to the vet. Most vets prefer it that way, and so we're trying to work within their preferences to maintain the best possible relationship.
So this would sort of be our holding facility for animals that are in process.
But no adoption, just the TNR side.
We don't do the adoption side. If an animal is adoptable, which some strays are, they'll be very friendly because they were at one point domestic animals, then we can hand it off to an adoption agency. But we don't deal with that because that's already covered. We don't need to reinvent the wheel that way.
And as a general rule, if a cat comes in with kittens, the kittens are usually able to be acclimated and adoptable. And so right now the setup is that the kittens stay at kitten division and are adopted out. So we probably would mimic that in some way and partner with someone like kitten division to move those animals into that setting.
Although you raise a good point that if we do base our operation here, and we can provide some extra work for veterinary clinic, it might encourage veterinary clinic to open here in town. Because they have
If you have a facility, I don't know if it would help you, like if you could just set up, like days where they could just.
we'd be more than happy to.
It's not a bad idea. It's definitely worth looking into.
And if between the community's needs and our needs, we can entice a veterinary clinic to open that where we improve the resources here in town.
Good question.
What about these owners that can have all these cats? Okay, they just let them run wild, and then they feed them. Okay?
That is an issue.
And then they get to a certain age, and you know what they do? They go in,
The problem is if we're going to track on private property, we need the property owner's permission.
yeah, but these property owners don't want to trap.
But once we can trap outside the property.
Well, bring the traps over there. I've got one cat that you're talking about. One cat that I took to the kitten division, and it worked. Okay, I don't have no problem. That's the bus. I walk him every month. He gets his rabies shots. He gets his front lines. You got all these other people that got all these dozens of cats, and they don't want to. But if you want to set the trap, set them over there in my place, because they set off my alarm all the time.
So this is
All right, we took in a stray, mother,
That's not very done. They got all these cats, and they're not doing anything about it. But let them,
But this is actually an excellent scenario, because part of what we want to do is outreach. And when someone like you knows about us and lets us know the situation is going on, we would actually reach out to that owner and try to work with that owner and help them if it's a financial issue, or encourage them and explain, the impact that
you
these
start
animals have.
renting these cats that belong to other people, and you don't know who, unless you're gonna bring them back.
well, in this area, when
There's nobody paying for it.
in this area, when you take a cat in, most needs to be fixed. They either microchip them or they clip the ear.
I know, I think I took on there.
So we do look for those signs, and there are those signs, and we probably have to spray out.
If you want a place to trap, bring your traps over my place, I'll leave a supply trap. That's fine.
We will get your information, we will get your information.
Right now, there's 5 cats.
That's exactly what happened on our farm last year.
13, there's 5. It's my fault, I think.
You guys pay for that much too?
Last year, a friendly mother cat came onto our farm, we took her in, she had babies, and now we have a whole
sets do you use currently? Do you-
Currently, we mostly rely on Pit Division and W4.
Okay. Any more questions on that one? Next up would be our multi-family utility ordinance. It was posted too, so unless you guys have some questions, we can need a motion for the first reading and the second reading too.
It's Bill 2022-0003. It's not on there.
Dash 0003.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, 24 hours excludes weekends and holidays.
That was up Friday.
I asked for a copy of the ordinance Friday, and was not given one either.
I got a copy of the ordinance Friday. That ordinance was not posted on the window.
That ordinance was posted on.
It was put out right at 5 o'clock.
And Mr. Lee, just so you know, I told you the same thing as soon as I had the ordinance, I would give it to you if you wanted it, and at that moment, you actually proceeded to walk out of it.
No, you gave me the recording, and I never got a copy. You said you'd get it for me, so. You said that you would get me a copy of the ordinance the other day when we were in there. I never received it.
I know it was put up at 5 o'clock on Friday. It wasn't put up at the same time as the agenda, but it was put up later.
I didn't have it till later in the day, so that's exactly why I wasn't up there.
I don't think you made the effective date for the readings until May by the ordinance.
That's correct.
Passing it today is not going to change that in the next 85 days or whatever. But, they want to post it.
It's 90-day notice, correct? But we decided
I think we set up to start May 1, because the last section states about the rates.
Yes.
Stacy Oaken,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Cameron,
Yes.
Mary Wiles. Yes. Trevor Warner. 5-0.
Ordinance in the City of Dixon establishing water and sewer rates for multi-residential properties, whereas the City of Dixon owns and operates a water distribution system and a sewer system, and whereas the city is aware that there are a number of multi-residential properties located in the city, and whereas the Board of Aldermen believe that each residential unit should be paying individual water and sewer bills, be ordained by the Board of Aldermen for the City of Dixon. I'll need a second reading.
Make a motion for a second reading of Bill 2022-0003.
Also.
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Oaken,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Trevor Warner.
Yes.
5-0.
An ordinance the City of establishing water and sewer rates for multi-residential properties, whereas the City of Dixon owns and operates a water distribution system and a sewer system, and whereas the city is aware that there are a number of multi-residential properties located in the city, and whereas the Board of Aldermen believe that each residential unit should be paying individual water bills and sewer bills. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Oaken,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Trevor Warner.
Yes.
5-0.
Thank you, guys. We'll be going to closed session. I don't believe we'll be coming out of anything else. But thank you for coming out. Yeah, sorry.
Wesley Wilhelm,
Yes.
Stacy Oaken,
Yes.
Barbara Thomas, Anthony Campbell, Mary Wiles. Yes. Trevor Warner.
Yes.
5-0. Closed session.
Thank you. I remember when P and I came here, we had to check from the flight through extremely frustrating. She would use language, that's what we
It's not hard to figure